I'm going to tell you guys why I think Danny is overpowered and needs to be nerfed, and Nancy is underpowered and needs to be buffed. Let's get into it.
Campfacer.
What's going on, campers? Campfacer here. Welcome back to another Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game video. Before we start this video, I just want to tell you guys that Leatherface over here gets really excited when you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't you, Bubba? All right, man, take it easy. Take it easy. See you guys. You can subscribe and make this guy happy over here. And when are you going to finish chewing that barbecue, by the way? You've been chewing for like years, man. This guy over here, too, is creeping you guys out. Anyways, let's get into the video. We're going to talk about, this is discussion. I'm going to explain to you guys the new characters we had in this last update, which this update that came out last week is amazing. I love it. We have a new map, which is Nancy's house map. Love the map. I love how much real estate there is to cover. Bushes, upstairs in the house, the basement, the back junkyard, the front yard, the man cave, the garage, everything. It's a great map. I love the map. It's a little more victim-sided in a way, and because there's more to hide around and loop around and so on, but it's a fair game. I love it. I love the map, and I love the way it looks. I love the interior of Nancy's house. The low ceilings kind of bring that environment in more and gives it that 70s look with the carpets and the old spindle wood, and oh man, they did a great job. The characters are also awesome to a degree. That's what this video is all about. Nancy and Danny, and I'm going to explain to you guys, and don't hate me because you guys, I'm a family main. To be honest, I main family a little bit more, but I play a lot of victim. I love victim. I play both sides. I grew up playing Nintendo games like 80s side scroller games, which are near to impossible. So when I die in this game, I take the L with a win. Okay, if I'm a victim. If I'm a family main, they all escape. I kind of take it in and say I got to try harder, you know. So, but there is a balance here, and in Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game, I feel like the balance should be an uneven balance. It shouldn't be like most games are balanced this way, like you think it should be. Texas, there's the victim, and there's the family, which are the killers. The balance should be like this: the killers should always be more overpowered than the victims. But if the family gets way buffed, then the victims it needs to be a steady balance like this. Right now, it's pretty close to this, and with Danny, it's almost going over. Danny's up here above. It's making the victims a little bit more overpowered than the family, and it's not me complaining and whining and moaning and groaning. It's just facts here. I'm going to explain here in a second. Now, if you don't know who Danny is a new victim to the game, and his ability is to be able to tamper with objectives, like the objectives that open up exits and such like that. So now when he tampers with it and he completes his ability on the objective, it breaks it. So if he's playing with let's say a fuse box or a pressure valve tank, and he does his ability on it and tampers with it with his ability, and it breaks it. It opens up the exits, and it makes it so that family can no longer shut it back off. Now, Nancy's ability is she can see through the eyes of the victims. There's a very long cooldown on it. You only get to see through the eyes of the victims for about 3 to 4 seconds, and it all looks distorted on your screen. It's all psychedelic, and yeah, so you can definitely level up to level 3 where you can make it more clear. You can see what they're looking at. But now I'm going to explain to you guys. Nancy also gets barbed wire. She can put 3 barbed wires like traps on gaps and doorways. And that's very broken too, by the way, in my opinion. Well, not broken, but it needs to be fixed. It needs to be adjusted, in my personal opinion. I'm going to explain to you guys all this stuff here. Let's get over to Danny, though. Okay. Now, first off, let's not get over to Danny. Let's talk about something else right before I get into Danny. I love this game. You guys know that. I talk about it. I cover it all the time. I live stream it and so on. I love Gun. Sumo's doing a great job. What scares me is right now there's the lobby issues. A lot of people are seeing that it takes forever to queue as a victim in a lobby. Even when you get into a lobby as a victim, the family members are the ones that are always last to spawn in, or they leave and blah blah blah, or the game the counter ends and you have to start all over, and people are complaining that matches are taking too long, and the reason is there's not enough family killer players out there right now that are wanting to even out the balance of the lobbies. There's more victims waiting to get into a game than there are the family. There's like, you know what I mean? So the victims that are fighting to get into a match are fighting up against getting in the match with those two lobbies of killers. So now some of those hundreds of thousands of victims are getting into the lobby where the rest have to wait because there's only, X amount of family players filling the lobbies, and the next one's in line. So we need to even it out so it's like this. But to do that, we got to make it more fun for the killers, the family members, to want to play. Because more people are like, it's not fun when they all get out and teabag me and so on and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not one of those. I love playing family. Like I said, I get excited to hunt. It's fun. When I play victim, I love playing victim and trying to survive. And if I don't, it's scary. If I die, I take the L, and I don't mind it. I'm not one of those people to rage quit. I never rage quit. I never say, oh, this is unfair and blah, blah, blah. I die and I take it to the next match. And when I finally get out, I earn that. I get excited. I say, hell yeah, I won that match. Because like I said before, I grew up in the 80s playing Nintendo games. Nintendo games were near to impossible. You got 3 lives, 3 continues to beat an entire game. So when you finally beat that game, you earned it. I'd run down the hall and be like, Mom, you're not going to believe it. I won. I beat it. I beat Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Or Ninja Gaiden. I beat the final boss in Ninja Gaiden. And, it was an honor. You worked for that. So as a victim in this game, you got to work for it. You got to earn it. Now, with Danny's ability to be able to break an objective that opens up a gate, whether it's a pressure valve, a generator, or the battery, it opens the gate forever. And victims, especially at level 3, Danny, then all victims can just run out. Now, some can argue and say, hey, well, you could just have the family members camp the gate and try to body block or slice and dice and so on. But chances are, you guys know this, that doesn't work, really. You could set traps as Hitchhiker and catch one, and you could possibly catch one and kill them. I get it. But chances are it's not going to happen. And that really, really is, to me, kind of crazy for Danny to be able to break a pressure valve, the gate opens, and it's game over. And a lot of family member players, let's face it, they're not all going to take the L and be like, all right, I just got to move on to the next match and try to counter it better and communicate and so on. They're just going to take the game and be like, I'm done with this, and throw it to the side. That's facts. It is what it is. People get frustrated. I just feel like Danny's ability there is a little bit overpowered. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of crazy to be able to break something and never be able to shut it back off as a family member. There's going to be a lot of people doing this, and it's just going to get easier and easier for victim players once they learn how to do this and loop and do it, and it's just going to get out of control. I don't know about that one. What about you, Bubba? See, he doesn't like it, you guys. He doesn't like that shit. Now, Nancy, let's talk about Nancy here. Why I think Nancy needs to be buffed. Okay, now Nancy is a killer in this game, a family member. She's an old lady. again, her ability is to be able to see through the eyes of the victims, okay? Like I said before, she could see through, or did I say this already? I can't remember. All right, so there's a lot of thoughts going through my head right now. That's why, you guys, this is a fun discussion here, and you guys can agree or disagree in the comments. But okay, so Nancy's ability, you can see through the eyes of the victims. There's a very long cooldown on that too, by the way. Now, when you start off at level 1 Nancy, you can see through the eyes of the victims for about 3 to 4 seconds, and it's all psychedelic on the screen and distorted, distressed, or whatever. And you might be able to see where they are, you might not, but chances are they're going to be looking in whatever direction, and you might be looking at the ground or the sky or a wall, or you're not going to know where the hell they are. And then you have to wait for that cooldown to come back so you can use your ability again while you're running around with the she's got the pickaxe, the garden hoe, whatever it is. Now she's kind of like a support in this game, kind of like a cook in a way, maybe a little bit more strong than the cook, but she also has barbed wire. She only has 3 to start with, where she could take barbed wire and put it in gaps and put it in doorways, and if a victim goes through the barbed wire, it wraps around their leg and it stays on their leg or their ankle, and they start bleeding, and until they take it off. They can run around with it, but it's just going to leave a big blood trail, and it's going to take more damage off of them, and it's going to ping. It's going to show on the screen where they're at, because it's just going to keep making noise as they're running. So they got to take it off. Once they destroy it, you can put the barbed wire back where it was set in the gap. But also, what sucks is your own family members can accidentally run through that barbed wire and break it. And it doesn't hurt the family, it just breaks it, and you don't know if they did it or not on accident. And then you have to go back and reset it. Now, what bothers me is when Hitchhiker puts his traps down. You listening to this? Stop staring at my fans. We're talking about you right now. When you put the traps down as Hitchhiker and the other family members run over his traps, it doesn't set it off. So why does it have to break Nancy's barbed wire traps? It's kind of annoying to me. I wish that they could just go through it and it would stay there like an invisible. I get it. Some people might say, oh, well, that's not realistic, but it's a video game. Just let them go through it, because I spent numerous times putting traps down, and I told my family team, I was on voice chat. I said, hey, watch out. I set traps over here in this door. Don't go through it. They just, I don't know if they were listening or not, but they just kept breaking it over and over throughout the match. And I had to keep resetting it and resetting. And then there was a point where I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. So I moved the traps somewhere over to the side where they're not running around all the time, but it was in a high traffic area. And I get it. They couldn't just like not go through the trap. They had to hunt whoever they were hunting. They were in they saw that they were in the room. They couldn't go through the gap. So they had to go through the doorway, because it was like a cook, I think. And he couldn't go through the back gap in the wall, and they were in that room. So they had to go through the trap. That's very annoying to me. And I know it probably annoys a lot of people, but you only get 3 unless you level up her character, and then there's a perk or whatever, you can get more than 3 traps. But back to her ability with seeing in her vision, a lot of people out there think that just because they got detected by Nancy, that it's game over. It's not. Now, when you get detected by Nancy's vision as a victim, it notifies you that you've been spotted by Nancy. Excuse me. So that doesn't mean she's going to know where you are and be right on top of you and it's game over. You guys got to realize, man, my chest. I'm gassy today. When Nancy detects you, you have time to make that decision and say, okay, she knows where I am, or maybe what I'm doing. Or maybe she doesn't know where you are at all. If you're staring at a wall or the ground or the ceiling, she's not going to know where you are. She only gets to see for like 3 or 4 seconds on her ability, if she can see through that psychedelic, distorted, distressed. Or if she's on level 3 and you have a level 3, Nancy, the screen that you look through, the perk, you could see clear. But that doesn't mean necessarily that she knows exactly where you are. Now, let's just say you're staring at the fuse box and you're doing the fuse and you were detected by Nancy. Chances are now you know, all right, she knows that you're at the fuse, you're doing the fuse. She knows where you're located and she knows what you're up to. Now, if you're a smart enough player, you're going to say, okay, I got to bounce. She knows I'm at the fuse, I'm doing it. So let's go and do a different objective. By the time she gets over there, you're long gone anyways. Or maybe she told one of the family members, hey, they're at the fuse, go over there. By the time they get there, or maybe they're close by, you're long gone anyways. Now she's got to wait for her ability cooldown to come into play. So to me, that's not overpowered. That's a fair game. That's a 50-50 chance that they might possibly know where you are, catch up to you, and get you. That's a fair game. But with Danny, once he shuts off those objectives, that's game over. Shut off the fuse box, turn the fuse box on and break it. You can't turn it back off. Game over for the family. The generator, can't turn it back on. At least the generator, you still have a chance to get to the gate before they unlock the gate, but it's all game over with Danny, man. I don't know. I just find this very frustrating, and I feel like a lot of people are on the same page as I am. Danny's power is a little bizarre, but I think as far as Nancy being buffed, I think Nancy needs to have more ability on placing her traps. It's not Nancy's vision. Nancy's vision ability to me is perfectly fine. Like I said, it's a 50-50 chance. I think that's fair. But what bothers me with Nancy that needs to be buffed is not just family running through her traps and breaking them, which they should just be invisible. They should just be able to go through it. But I think that Gunn needs to put more availability where she could place those traps, not just certain doors or certain gaps. There needs to be more environmental spots that you could place in between, like a coffee table and a box, or on the gas station map, the fuse box in the back of the house. You know, if you're in the back of the house, you take the first left. There's that bed and there's some boxes. You should be able to put the barbed wire trap between the bed and the boxes to get to that fuse box, and you can't. It just seems like spots like that should be available to put her traps down. Especially if Danny can do what he can do, then Nancy needs to have a little bit more of a buff with that. I don't know. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with me or do you disagree? Let's hear your thoughts. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, check it out and make Bubba proud. And please subscribe, right, Bubba? All right. Take it easy. God, they get the point. Man, you guys better subscribe or this guy's going to go crazy after this video is over. Anyways, that's it. And I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, campers, stay out of the woods.